God bless everybody. Today it's December 27th of 2023, and the rhetoric is exponentially moving up. It is getting really harsh out here. Netanyahu and Erdogan have been trading punches, and so let's get right into these stories because this is going to affect us soon. I've been talking about that January 15th date and potentially an invasion by Turkey by then. So I think this could happen. We'll see how close it is. In this article from the Jerusalem Post, it indicates Benjamin Netanyahu no different than Hitler, Turkey's Erdogan claims. And so that's a pretty harsh statement to throw down on the Jewish leader, that you're no better than the man that tried to genocide your whole race or population of people in the World War II. Is a pretty extreme statement. Netanyahu responded to Erdogan saying that the Turkish leader is carrying out a genocide of the Kurds, and I would add even the Armenians, and holds a world record in imprisoning journalists who oppose him. So these two guys are throwing jabs down, and you got to understand, this is the leader of the new Ottoman Empire that's getting ready to be formed in the Middle East, because he's going to bring 10 nations against Israel, because he's the white horseman of Revelation, and he's going to go against Israel and this man here. So Erdogan is talking tough, and I've talked about this potential invasion by Turkey for some time into Syria, which would start a Daniel 8 effect, because the Kurds have to join Iran, and then both these nations are destroyed by Turkey. You can go look at Daniel 8. It clearly indicates that you need to be watching the Medes. Been in process of genociding these Kurds for decades. I mean, since we go back, if you look in time in the history, it's about 1984 when these original attacks between these two groups, the Kurds and Turkey, have broken out. And so this has been going on for a long time. I've shown you reports here recently how this is really ramping up, and this is not going to hold up. The Kurds are going to push back because Turkey's unleashed a huge amount of attacks on them in just the last 48 to 24 hours, and I've got some reports to show you there as we get into this. But I wanted you to realize that we have some extremely harsh rhetoric out here. You're talking about the Neo-Ottoman Empire that's being formed. It's going to go against Israel. Netanyahu has to, if you look at how the transformation of the Bible goes, Iran has to be absorbed into Ezekiel 38 and 39. So you need to be looking at Daniel 8 first. If that's the case, then you need to be looking at the Medes or the Kurds, because they're supposed to align with Persia or Iran prior to their destruction by Turkey. Now, I know a lot of people believe this is just a history lesson, and it did happen in the past, but I've always said that we're going to see reoccurring events happen in the future, and so we need to watch Daniel 8 at this very moment. We also should be watching that 10 Tevet date that I have given you on 588 BCE, which was the original siege on Jerusalem by these four proxies that you see in 2 Kings 24, and that this was going to affect us around January 15th of this year, because that was the date that it occurred in 588 BCE, and so I thought it could happen between 10 Tevet of this year, which happened on December 22nd, and that radiated out to the actual physical date. Once you realize when the date of 10 Tevet was in 588 BCE, you realize it's January 15th, and so I think he was trying to tell me it was 10 Tevet, not necessarily in our Gregorian calendar date, but in the date of the time it happened in the past. And if you look at the terminology or how he states it there, he indicates that it happens on this very day. And so I'm going to go with the way this is ramping up, that we need to watch January 15th at this point. I've got a video I'd like to show you about Erdogan's speech he made today about Netanyahu, because I think it's extremely important that you see his rhetoric and his demeanor as he's saying it. This is a pretty short video, and you'll have to read the English interpretation, so just letting you know ahead of time.
Sizin Hitler'den ne farkınız var ya? Bunlar bize Hitler'i de aratacak. Bu Netanyahu'nun yaptıklarının Hitler'den geri kalır yanı var mı? Yok. Şu an itibariyle Hitler bunun kadar zengin değildi. Bu Hitler'e göre daha zengin. Batı'dan alıyor destekleri. Amerika'dan her türlü destek geliyor. Ve bütün bu desteklerle 20 bini aşkın Gazze'liyi bunlar ne yaptılar? Öldürdüler.
And basically he pointed us out as being the contributor to the wealth of Israel and how we funneled them. Sort of, you can read into this, you know, weapons, money, and all this progress. And so we're being drawn into this battle. We've been trying to bring us into this battle through all these attacks of Syria and Iraq. That's maybe why the administration hasn't done a lot, but with over 103 attacks, you're already in this war, and so you need to figure that out. And in this last article I just wanted to present is also today, Turkey now has hit over 70 sites. The last time I reported it was 50 sites, so this is escalating quickly, and so you just need to be aware of all these working parts that are going on. I know everybody's focused towards Israel right now, but you need to watch Turkey and the Kurds because they matter to Daniel 8. And so they've hit basically 70 sites. This was into retaliation for 12 Turkish soldiers that were basically killed. And so this is not going to go away. Erdogan is going to protect his border. He's been talking about creating his own buffer zone of, 30 to 50 miles down into Syria and Iraq so that he can keep the Kurds from attacking his borders. And we sort of have a similar thing going on between Israel trying to protect its borders, Turkey trying to protect their borders from these two terrorist organizations, but yet Turkey's probably just as much of a terrorist organization or more so than the Kurds, and the Kurds are just trying to coexist in these areas. And so I'm not going to get a geopolitical discussion on who's the good and who's the bad. I know one thing: both nations, Turkey, the Kurds, are going to be under judgment, and it's not going to work out well for either of them, because you can see that in Daniel 8. Once the Kurds align with Iran, they're destroyed. Both those nations. And then Turkey's broken and they're destroyed. So it is going to be ugly out here soon. And I think by the time we hit spring of this year, around that spring equinox of March 20th, things are going to have changed radically out here. So put your oil in your lamp, get everything ready. Find the Lord Jesus. He's the most important portion of this equation. Without him, we have nothing, and he provides us everything. And so we need to realize which side we need to be on in this war. And the war is coming to your doorstep soon. So get ready, folks. God bless, and have a great night.